Ray was born into a cultured, middle-class Calcutta family, a family of scholars, musicians and writers. The Western influences were strong. They played cricket. They experimented with photography and photo engraving.
Well, actually I started as a film fan. I was subscribing to magazines like Picture Goer and Photoplay and Film Pictorial, and I was more interested in the stars and reading about them, the doings and all that. But there came a point around the early 40s, I think, that I got interested in directors and the particular kind of stamp that they left on their work. I was sent to England in 1950 by my agency to work at the head office in London. And it was then that I saw the first new realist films and a whole lot of Italian films and other films as well. I saw about 100 films in 6 months. And it was the new realists which convinced me that you could work with non-professionals, you could work entirely on location. You didn't have to worry about surface quality so much as the human content. And that was what eventually Pathipachali aimed at, doing that kind of a film. When we shot the beginning, we were all amateurs learning our craft. And some of it shows in the cutting and in the timing, in the rhythm of the film, even in the photography to a certain extent. But from about halfway onwards till the end, by that time, with all the long gaps in between, we learnt a lot. We looked at the footage again and again, and we learnt by our mistakes. And in the end, of course, the second half is very fluent and effective, I think. We were able to achieve more or less what we wanted.
As far as editing is concerned, you kept to a fairly conventional scheme, the style of editing in your films.
I have tried to keep the editing scheme as simple as possible because I'm anxious to communicate also. But there are points where even as early on as in Aparajito, where there are fairly bold cuts. And later I took over composing myself because for one thing, most of the time they were not available. And for another, I felt that since I couldn't think of another composer to use, I didn't think there were very many good professional film composers. I started doing it myself.
2 by 1, take 1.
Action.
এটা কি নাম দেওয়া যায় বলতো? সাপকে দেওয়া চলে না।
Cut. Fine. আরেকটা নিয়ে নি ভাই, আরেকটা নিয়ে নি, just one more. এই হাতটা লাস্টে ওঠাটা না, আরেকটু রিল্যাক্স।
The film industry in Calcutta is modest in comparison to the main centres of Madras and Bombay. Ray is one of the few serious dramatists working here. He has managed to produce films of great technical quality by always working with the same small team, each of whom he has encouraged to perfect their particular craft.
I have a way of working which they get to know in course of time. and which makes it very easy for me because it makes constant instructions unnecessary.
Well, it's been an extraordinary experience for me to be here tonight to receive this magnificent award, certainly the best achievement of my movie-making career. As a small schoolboy, I was terribly interested in the cinema, became a film fan.